Get cozy, everybody, because today we'll be playing a game called Danganronpa Single File. Let's start. Features strong language, mix of blood, violence, yada yada, refers to sexual acts, some suggestive content, all characters 18. Spoiler for trigger happy, yep. Okay. Play the prologue. Very welcome. I welcome you to what? Danganronpa Single File. Yo, just one long line. Single file. Okay. Prologue. Despair for the artificial age. Cool. Artificial age. So how old are we? Hey, you're awake. What's more, you look almost healthy. Looks like you're even ready to speak. Fine, ready to tell us a bit about yourself? How about your name? Do you remember that much? I like it when a game asks for my name. It's like one of them. It makes you feel like you are in the story, you know? That's actually progress. We've been calling you the prisoner this whole time, based on how you're dressed. Please, you've decided to be more forthcoming. Is that recognition I see in your eyes? Somewhat as if for the first time you're really looking at me.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Wait, that's it? Okay. This may be the first time my introduction has had a chance to register, so I'll repeat it one more time. And I'm gonna say, okay. Please, my name is Zadie. I'm the ultimate spy, so I suppose I may actually be the master of spies now, given recent events. And there the recognition ends. I can see that you don't catch my meaning. We'll handle that in due time. For now, let's focus on you. If you look at my chest camera, you should see yourself reflected in the lens. Do you recognize yourself? Nope.
My.
That's quite a frown. I suppose we all like to imagine that we look better than we do in our own reflections. Although that's a sour face you're making, this is the first time you've worn any expression other than a dull stare. I welcome it. Perhaps in due time you can tell us who you really are in your own words. How about your surroundings? Do you recognize where you are? I can see that you don't. That's a shame because I'm afraid this is going to be difficult for you to hear. We're in a class trial inside the killing game. The class trial's occurrence coincides with a murder. One of the 15 remaining students here has killed one of their colleagues. You really don't know about the killing games, do ya? That makes you nearly the only person of our age in the entire world, I imagine. The rest of what remains in society either fears them on a daily basis or actively instigates them. I can't go over every detail with you right at this moment, but let me share you the basic gist. A creature called Monokuma has trapped us inside the walls of our school and has offered us one chance to escape, killing our fellow students. The class trial is a murderer's chance to escape. The killer tries to hide his tracks and pin the blame on someone else, while the innocent students try to smoke them out. In the end, we all make a vote. If we correctly identify the killer, they alone will be executed. If we do not, all of us are executed and the killer goes free. Your eyes is asking, how do I know you aren't the killer? Answering honestly, you don't. The class trial will give us an equal chance to investigate and cast blame. It involves scrutinizing evidence and forming debates. So if you examine all the evidence and decide that I'm the one who's guilty of murder, then cast your judgment upon me, and I will do likewise. Zadie.
My.
You speak, so you even use my name. What a rare pleasure. I didn't commit a murder. I couldn't have. I don't even know what's going on here. You understand, don't you? It sounds like I was nearly a vegetable all this time. It's not possible that I could have committed a murder during that time.
I think not.
I'm glad you've recovered some sense of self, but I'm not going to pity you in a scenario like this. I can't afford to, and neither can the others. There's got to be some way out of the killing game. We can't honestly be planning to kill each other to escape. If we all just pass time, perhaps somebody will come to rescue us. Rushing this into a trial, especially with me in this state, is just asinine. And yet we have no choice. Nothing we do will halt the killing game. Almost any attempt to would simply end in the execution of the majority. If you really do want to prolong your life, you should do so by debating during the game. Can we tell Monokuma I'm unfit for trial? Let's tell him that I'm only waking up just now. He might let me out at the trial. I don't know myself or you or anybody else in that room.
I think not.
No. He wouldn't listen. That bears no sympathy for anyone. Your only salvation is to make it through this trial. If you're innocent, then trust me. I will work to the best of my abilities to bring the fact to light and clear your name. If you're innocent. Then it's still in your best interest to participate in the trial, I'd say. Maybe that pathetic face of yours will win somebody over. Wait, I still have more questions. She's taking up a podium opposite of mine in the courtroom. I see 13 others in there besides her, and I don't recognize a single face. What am I supposed to do? All I can do is take my own spot and play along for now. Alright, you degenerates, quiet down. What were you two doing over there making out? A little early for that kind of plot development. Oop, 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 oop. Zadie, why don't you handle laying out the details of the case so we can start debating, after all? A spy is the closest thing we've got left to a detective at this point.
You have it.
If I must, then I shall. Uh-huh. We'll begin with the circumstances of the victim, whose body I discovered just this morning at 10 a.m. Monokuma provided an autopsy report shortly after. The details of this report must be considered a fact within a killing game and must include any details a coroner would be required to see. Ooh, the prologue already has a trial. Immediately started. Nice. The victim's name is Zeta. He is, or should I say was, my brother, the ultimate spy master. The murder weapon was not confirmed by Monokuma because it was not present at the scene. I have suspicions, but we'll get to those later. What do we know for sure is the cause of death, a laceration of the throat. A single large cut was made across the victim's neck, nearly severing the head. Death was almost instant. The body was discovered on a conveyor belt inside the school's workshop. The conveyor belt runs into a furnace, unlit at the time of discovery. The size of her restraints, bound strong enough to crack the bone, can be seen one of the victim's arms and legs. It seems likely that some sort of machine was used to hold them in place. However, the body was unrestrained at the time of discovery. It had been left there like a pile of garbage. The victim was left broken and covered in his own blood. I can't imagine a more brutal end. To think that Zadie lost her brother that way, it's terrible. I think that her attitude towards this case isn't just a matter of her own survival, it's probably personal. It's actually amazing how much sympathy she managed to show me already, given her own circumstances. But still, it's like you said earlier, I can't afford to back down either. If what she said is true, my life and everyone else is riding upon proving I'm not the killer. The best thing for all of us right now would be for me to try to understand every detail of this case, so I can cast undue suspicion off of myself. I know I'm not the killer, I just need to help everyone else understand that. He's going to be updating relevant info. Everyone else keep it quiet. They're letting Zadie handle the whole trial. It'll be up to me to ask the questions then. What should I ask about? Maida weapon? There was no other weapon left at the scene, however, it's not what's not at the scene that will be of interest. The workshop is full of tools that could, in theory, be used to cause a deep laceration like this. Most of them are still in place. One single tool is missing, an implement called a Robo-Exacto knife. The Robo-Exacto knife appears at first to be a cylindrical tube, similar to a flashlight. However, when a button is pressed, a large blade pops out from the one end. The blade has a very fine edge, which I understand modern roboticists use to cut through the material forming the flesh of the automatons. I theorize that this missing item must have been used to kill our victim. If there's one thing I find strange, it's this. The Robo-Exacto knife is itself designed to be wielded by an automaton. It's too large and unwieldy to be used by most humans. The roboticist will typically have an assisting machine to grip the device for him. If a victim were to be killed by something like this and by human hands, they would have to either be restrained or so deeply asleep that their body didn't start or twitch awake. At the very least, the laceration would be much less clean otherwise. In case you were thinking that the cut might have been left after another different killing technique, and that's what you recall Monokuma's autopsy. We know the cause of death was hemorrhagic shock brought on by the one single laceration. There's nothing in this description that seems to incriminate me, but there's an obvious contradiction in this detail of the murder weapon. I'll note it later. Alibis. The good news, the details of the alibis won't be hard to remember at all. 13 students were assembled together for morning breakfast during the only conceivable hours the murder may have occurred, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. We all saw him alive when he entered his room to sleep the night before. The rooms each locked with one single occupant. 7 a.m. is the earliest allowable time to roam the school. He never reported into the cafeteria for breakfast. I went up to look for my brother around 8:30 a.m. When he failed to appear, the school is rather large and I was searching alone, so it was 10 a.m. before I finally discovered the body in the dark workshop. One other person is missing an alibi for this time as well. The young man standing behind the podium across from me. Do you understand what that means? It means that either you or I committed this murder. Of course, he could have taken his own life through some inexplicable means, or perhaps someone set a trap to be activated remotely. But I'd say we ought to examine the simple conclusions before jumping to the impossible ones, wouldn't you? This is terrible. With evidence like that, I know one thing for sure. Either Zadie is the killer or I am. The fact that I can't remember the events of the past few days or even this morning will only make me even more suspicious. Now, a field of potential suspects has narrowed significantly. I can see how this debate is going to go much more clearly now. My behavior? I have to explain to the rest of you. Our prisoner here has found a bit of his personality and speech ability. His real name is Clef. Other than a scrap of his personality, he seems to have no memories whatsoever. A classic game of partial amnesia, often found in the killing games, only this time near total. However, you're interested in your behavior up to this point, not this new self you're showing us. You've been acting quite suspiciously since the beginning, never talking, barely acknowledging anyone around you except to stare at them. I'm the ultimate spy, but I must admit sometimes I feel like I'm the one being spied on, plus you have quite a poker face. The sour frown you're wearing is the first hint of emotion you've betrayed the whole time you've been here. Moreover, I haven't even seen you eat. I haven't seen you go to the bathroom. I'm a spy, so I know to watch for these behaviors that make up a person's daily schedule. It's almost as though you're some sort of doll, a ghost, something like that. Some might say that you were so completely immobile. It's hard to imagine you doing much of anything, let alone committing a murder. Others might think of that as an act, perfect status to prevent yourself from providing any incriminating information. I have my own thoughts on the matter. It's true, I really can't remember a thing. That makes me highly suspicious right now. People trust those who will converse with them and build relationships, especially in a situation like this. What could be more untrustworthy than a man who keeps his mouth shut until the moment a murder occurs, and he needs to defend himself from suspicion? Is there anything else I can ask that will be a tad less incriminating? I have all the info I need. I say we got over all the essential information so far. This case is fairly cut and dry. Nearly everyone has an alibi, so we can hardly blame them if they let us slug it up between ourselves, Clef. Unless you like to open with an accusation, I'll leave in my own theory. I think it'd be too hasty to accuse anyone just yet. The clock has only just started on this trial. Even if we are out of clues to investigate, perhaps if we put our heads together, things will become clearer. If you can describe to me the events since we arrived. It's you. You're the killer. If I'm all explaining things for your benefit, then I'm not going to waste my breath. You'll save us time if you admit it yourself. Whether you remember doing it or not is secondary to the fact that you are the true culprit. But if you do wish to argue, then I'll lay out every observation so that not even you can deny your own guilt. You're making a mistake. It's impossible that I killed anyone. I have no malice towards any of you. I didn't even know about the killing game until I woke up a few moments ago. Why would I have taken it upon myself to murder anyone?
I think not.
That convenient bit of logic only works if we assume that you were unaware of events until this trial began. It would be reasonable for us to assume you were faking that vegetative state. I see you've chosen to prolong the trial. I can hardly blame you. It's your only lifeline. Did you have an alternate suggestion or who the culprit may be? Who would you like to accuse? Who would you like to accuse? Save here. One of the other students. There are 13 other students here besides you and me, Zadie. Can you really dismiss so easily that one of them had a hand in all of this? A question like that just shows your own desperation. Every one of the students has solid alibis, besides you and I. This is a battle between the two of us. A battle that I intend to win. Quit trying to square up free and accept your guilt. Except for the first class trial, this is your only chance to determine the true killer, so we'll have to take it seriously. Your logic score set to the 100 default. The fewer mistakes you make, the higher your logic score remains. If you make a mistake, you won't lose the trial, but you will lose points from your logic score. Try to keep the source killer, you'll be rewarded at the end of the chapter. During the trial, you'll be faced with crosstalk from the other students. Everyone else has an alibi. We're the only two who could have possibly committed a crime without using some sort of remote weapon. The killer had to be either spy, everyone else was together in the cafeteria. The other students may be noisy, but keep your attention on the one who was on the floor. In this case, that's Zadie. Once you've spoken, it's your choice to pass or attack. To attack, you'll need to choose one of the truth bullets presented in the moment. There's no contradiction here, so it's best that we pass. Choose pass for now. Could have such a remote weapon. Either one of us was capable of using the now missing tool to murder my brother. Whoever it was, use that tool and dispose of it later. Is she talking about the rubber plastic knife? The blame was used for murder. This statement seems a bit more suspect, doesn't it? If you're having a hard time remembering your clues, why don't you check the case tab at the bottom of the screen? Case tabs. Hemorrhagic attack, crime scene, about to make a jump shot. Body discovery. Robo extractor tool for cutting fresh automations called Robo Extractor 9. Now you can read the details of each clue carefully and pick the right piece of evidence. If you just use past, the student will has the floor and may begin to repeat their statements. There's no penalty for repeating, so perhaps you should listen to every statement before deciding to each other. Either one of us was capable of using the now basic tool to murder my brother. Whoever it was used to by the cherry Robo Extractor knife. Oops. This visual is like size of the. It would be hard for a human to use it without the aid of a machine.
Eureka!
Yeah. I appreciate that you're doing your best for the sake of the class, but you're moving through so quickly that you fail to notice an error in your reasoning. Earlier you stated that the Robo Extractor knife isn't a tool that a human being can easily use to kill somebody. It's designed to be used within the workshop with the assistance of machine guidance. How do you propose either one of us use it to kill your brother?
You have it!
That's a good point now you bring it up. The tool looks lighter than it is. While its size is similar to that of a flashlight, it's not hollow. The handle is more of a bar, designed to be stable within the grip of a large vise. It's not so simple for a human being to lift one and strike another person with it. However, it is also accounted for. You remember the restraints, right? There was clear evidence that my brother was tightly constrained by some sort of high-pressure restraints, later removed from the scene of the crime. If I held in position by those, it would not be so difficult for either one of us to plunge down the blade and inflict the wound to his throat. But where were the signs of those restraints? On the arms and legs, right? His neck showed no such signs. The only damage to the neck was that of the killing gash. He would have tried to wiggle his neck, right? He could simply have been knocked out or put to sleep first. We have no way of knowing. Don't we? The only reason we have fallen asleep was some sort of drug, right? I can't imagine him falling asleep naturally just after leaving his room at 7 a.m. The autopsy report didn't mention any trace of drugs in his system. As for being knocked out, there was no mention of a bruise or anything like that. So the facts aren't as cut and dry as I thought they were. I assume we are just going to leave it at that, right? You must have some alternate theory. I've thought of something else that may have caused him to stay prone and vulnerable while his murder occurred. What if he was approached by someone he trusted? He might not even have cause to look at them. That would make using the Robo Extractor knife as a weapon much easier.
My.
You're turning it around on me now. What a devilish maneuver. You can hardly blame him in a circumstance like this, can you? It's a very clever observation, one that leaves us back at sum zero, as it lacks much in the way of explaining how I managed to plunge the weapon in. But it gives the others just enough reason to pause and ponder my potential guilt. Well played. So this is what you'd call a stalemate, right? Neither of us can prove anything. But I know better. I know I'm not a killer. Can you really say the same about yourself?
I think not.
It's my duty to gain back the momentum for everyone's sake. If we're going to propose wild theories, perhaps you'll allow me one of my own. Your proposal is that I use my relationship to Zeta to get close to him and murder him while he was unaware. That would require a serious lack of precaution from one called the ultimate spy master, don't you think? But I digress. If you won't allow me my theory on the restraints, then let's start back at square one. What is ordinarily required in order to use the Robo Extractor knife? The aid of some sort of machine. Usually that would refer to a robotic arm or a very specific technology, wouldn't it? I didn't see anything like that inside the evidence photo of the workshop. What if it was something more mobile, like for instance, an automaton? By which I mean a robot designed to blend in as a human. That's nonsense. Where do you propose we could find this automaton? You can't pull something like that out of the blue. What a wild theory. For now, perhaps. But when we run out of concrete evidence to examine, wild theories are all we have left to dig into. Humor me for a little while if you would. In some cases, presenting student may latch into a wild theory that nobody else believes. However, there could be evidence to support that theory. Search the machine by benefit everyone's what rather attacking. Blue bullets wherever we get evidence. Okay. Few features distinguish the modern automaton. We have directly witnessed machine-like strength. This will be an open and shut case. Just seeing the aftermath is good enough. She lost her mind automaton. It's because I'm trying to mean I'm a robot. Few features distinguish the modern automaton. We had directly witnessed machine-like strength. This will be an open shut case. Just seeing the aftermath is good enough. Ultimate spy. We should have together all the simple the body of part of the rules killing game. Victim proceed. The body was left laying through the drop through the manual. Feeding into the furnace at the time of the body being both conveyor and furnace were inactive. The victim was covered in his own blood. It was not scattered around the entire scene. So no guys about victim's clothing and SWAT. Aha. Crime scene. Likewise, if we see the automaton's black blood anywhere, it could certainly make the presence of an automaton known. You're going to make us cut each other? This was surprised when enemies necessary. Case. The top revealed that the victim's ears had been wrapped so tightly at one point to damage his bones. By the day of some sort of machine, no restraints were found. Restraints. But I believe you judged the wrong conclusion. Oh. Okay. Case. I haven't seen the superior restraint or the black blood, but has anyone displayed other behavior befitting an automaton? Stepping in shadows, we're all human. Anybody else plugged into a wall lately? You haven't seen superior restraint of the black blood, but as it was. What is bad behavior? Silent emotion, still. Nothing. Yes. Few features distinguish the modern automaton if we had recommended machine-like strength. Okay. Behavior?
Eureka!
Yay. I just remembered what you said earlier. You haven't seen me eat anything, drink anything, or go to the restroom since I got here, have you? And based on just that, you're also going to accuse me of being an automaton? That's completely absurd. You can't be watching me all the time.
My.
On the contrary, that's my job as the ultimate spy, and I take it rather seriously. If you don't believe me, we can check the footage I have on my chest camera. The class was together for nearly the entire day yesterday. You didn't move from one spot the entire time. For those few moments where I didn't record you, I'm sure the others will testify the same. In fact, you barely even blinked. Wait, I admit I sound suspicious, but maybe there's another possibility. Like, what if I was replaced? The me you saw yesterday was an automaton, but the me today is flesh and blood human. That could be it, right? That explains why my behavior is so much different today than it was before.
You have it.
That would explain it rather neatly, I'd say, except we actually have a way to test it, don't we? Nothing so gruesome as cutting you with the robot X-Acto knife, although that is what it's made for. Monokuma, would it be possible for you to clear up this issue for us? You didn't invite him after all. Tell us, is he human or a machine? That will save us the unwanted gore. Huh? You're asking me now? Well, you know what? I don't know either. It's not something that comes up very often, you know? Luckily, I have a way to clear it up. Ooh, slick. The bears attacked me. There was a blade hidden inside the podium. A knife spotting came out from the wood, right where I was holding it. He's cut my bloody hand. Are we in physical danger apart from the trial here? What? There should be blood coming out, but my blood is jet black? It doesn't smell like blood, not oil, but something else. But I can't. That can't be. This is a trick. It's all a trick. The bear kidnapped us, right? That knife just now. It was some kind of trick. Like it changed the coloration of the blood and wiped into the blade. Or something, maybe. I don't know, something. Look at me. Listen to my words. I'm not a machine. Am I going to die? There's something else about machines too. They're designed to be controlled. Who's controlling this one? And is it really even a murder if a machine is the one carrying it out? Is it possible that the real mastermind is here? Can we carry out an execution against a machine? Sure we can. After all, I recruited this thing thinking it was a real ultimate level student. And you've seen how realistic this guy is. He walks, talks, and now he even cries like a baby. I found execution against machines less human-like than this guy. If he was being controlled by someone else, then even I don't know where they are. You're perfectly within your rights to execute him. After the vote, of course. Gotta keep things democratic. The buttons are on your podiums. Feel free to hit them at any time. Wait. Just a bit longer, okay? I've still got more ideas. I could come up with something else. There's still time, everyone. We'll find the real killer. There are other inconsistencies. I know, I've got it. What else is there? Missing weapon, furnace, I don't know. Restraints? We never found the restraints, did we? Nothing ever explained how his wrists and legs were crushed. If we found those somewhere, maybe we could move off this automaton's nonsense. Who knows, maybe his neck was restrained too, just not so tightly. That's a moot point. Look at your podium. It was being crushed in your hands. I can see cracks forming. It's not hard to imagine your strength crushed my brother's limbs in the same way. Well, why the conveyor belt? Why the furnace? We don't understand the scene of the crime yet. However, whoever the killer was, seems they were trying to dispose of the body. We can't vote until we understand every piece of evidence. I don't think that matters now. In fact, I'd posit that the killer simply murdered him there, cleaned the area, and then disposed of the weapon and the claw. There was plenty of time to do all that, especially for an advanced automaton that would have no trouble moving the body. Why are you in such a hurry? Let's take our time to think this bloody thing all the way through. Let's all calm down and think. Missing weapon. The missing murder weapon. Until we find the rollback sector knife, there's no way to say that I'm the only one who could have killed him. The real murder weapon could be something else. What else could have made the tremendous gash? It was so deep, it nearly cut my brother's head off. Whatever did it, we have to assume it was some sort of clean cutting machine like an industrial shearing press. I don't see one of those even in the workshop, so an automaton with a rollback sector knife is really the only good answer. Listen to yourself, that's insane. It's been insane from the moment you first presented it. There's still time. I'm going to come up with a better answer. Everyone else? The others are actually very suspicious, I'd say. You know you didn't kill your brother, and I know you didn't kill him either. What about the others? What if all 30 of them killed him together and tried to pin it on me? That's right, I guess you don't know all of the rules of the murder game. Only one person gets to escape. There's no benefit in killers cooperating with one another. Similarly, they have no reason to vouch for a killer either. You can believe them when they all corroborate each other's alibi. That's just it. This trial and the game surrounding it, that is fair at all. I don't know the rules. Why the hell did I kill anyone if I don't even know about the blasted killing game? I can only assume you're in control to do so, or activate it. Something of that nature. Zadie, listen, I thought of something else. Plead. I don't even know who I am. I don't remember my childhood, my history, my favorite foods, my family. I just learned I'm a goddamn robot. I have no memories. I didn't even know your brother. I've been given no opportunity to recover any of my memories. My motivation in this case is a complete blur. Please don't execute me. I recovered a bit of my personality today, right? Maybe another day the rest will come back. I just need more time.
I think not.
I'm sorry, you don't have another day. The trial has to be concluded. This isn't about just my brother. Correctly naming the perpetrator of the murder is the only way to save all 14 of us humans. Why was I made? Who made me? Why the hell did they brainwash me thinking I'm a bloody human after controlling me to murder somebody? If I'm just a tool for murder, then why did they give me this shivering feeling of despair running through my spine? I have no memories, no chance for amends, just crushing realization that I committed a murder and I'm going to die for it. Who would do something like this? The only people who do something like this are the agents of despair. I can't offer you much, Clef, but I can promise you at least this.
Despair!
I'll find the ones who did this to my brother and to you, and I'll make sure to pay for their crimes. I promise you this as the new ultimate spy master on behalf of myself and my entire generation. Despair? The agents of despair? You seem to know a lot about them. Everyone here does, but I don't. But I don't even know who you're talking about. Something about that actually feels strangely comfortable. I get a feeling I'm better off not knowing, huh? This is a terrible burden you and the others have to carry. I suppose I accept it now. I guess I was behind the murder after all. I'm glad you saved your classmates, Zadie. And I'm sorry about what I did to your brother. He knew the dangers of his profession. We were both prepared for what could happen to us. Gathering both the Ultimate Spire Master and his next succession in one place was a devious move by our captors. I appreciate you thinking about my brother. Speaking with you now, I can't imagine you murdering Zeta. The one you use you like this is despicable indeed. I'd have liked to learn more about myself. I have no memories, I can picture places and people, but who knows if I've ever seen them in person. I have liked to have a chance to put it all there together, or at least see the outside of this room. In the end, it's better to escape, even if I have to die. You have a chance to find whoever's behind this and stop them. As an automaton under someone else's control, there's not much I can do. Probably only be used to commit more atrocities. In fact, I'm starting to feel like being executed is the best thing that could happen to me. Because ever since I woke inside this courtroom, all I feel is more and more despair. I admire you for being able to live in such a world.
No!
There's nothing pleasant about an execution. I'm sorry, I should have told you. The execution isn't a simple thing. This is the greatest soul of despair. It's... Alright, don't give everything away. It'll be more fun if he doesn't see it coming. Have you degenerates made your votes already? Cast him now or face the penalty. There's no choice, I voted for myself. The others will have done the same. Besides, I'm sure my death is the best outcome here. There's no point feeling regret, but I will allow myself to feel a little relief. All of you finished with your internal debates? It's time for my favorite part. Let's see who you degenerates have decided is being executed today. Everybody check the whiteboard. Here are exciting contestants. I hope you don't mind. I kinda lump together all you unimportant guys. And here's our votes. The beauty of the democratic process just brings a tear to my eye. Oh, what's this? It was unanimous. That doesn't happen very often. But I guess robots are used to doing what they're told, huh? Oop, oop, oop. Isn't it nice to be popular? Got every vote, Clef. Everybody give him a big round of applause. Yay for me. Of course nobody's clapping. Should I feel a sense of camaraderie over that? Is it better if they all avert their eyes in shame? I think I'd rather have been applauded for my sacrifice. No clapping? Well, I like that look on your faces right now. Except you, Zadie. Can't see your face at all. Any final words for this guy or your brother?
Despair!
This won't go unavenged. I'll punish all ages of despair on behalf of both my brother and Clef. Tough talk for a girl who's locked in a killing game. There's still plenty of time to kill you off. Speaking of killing, mind sitting down for that big metal shell over there, prisoner? Wait, can you tell me something first? You said you abducted me by accident, thinking I was a different ultimate. Which ultimate did you think I was? The way you've dressed, where we found you, anybody would have called you the ultimate prisoner. But now, seeing what I've seen, I think I call you the ultimate something else. But if I said that, everybody would call me a liar, so I'll keep it to myself for now. The rest of you schmucks, you do the investigation on your own time. No more stalling. It's execution time. Cool. That was so cool. We got like an immediate trial and we're dead already. Nice. I think I'm going to take a break first. My throat hurts. Boop. There you go.